Welcome back to Ghosts, shedding light on ghosts on the tobeseen.com network for YouTube and, of course, the Disc Dungeon, the audio podcast. I'm Joe Dove, very excited to be with my good co-host, Bill Morgan. Bill, how's it going, man?
Yeah, not too bad. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. You know, it's really weird not having our show on.
I know.
I'm not watching the March Madness. That's not my thing.
Nah, I don't like basketball either.
Yeah. I'm more of a writer, sci-fi guy. I don't really do.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
But I am watching, as you were watching, Ghosts UK.
Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah.
Get back into that.
Yeah. So this is your second time and my second time watching the show.
Yeah.
And then
I didn't watch it all the way through. I only watched the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, this wasn't for me. But that was like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you decided to, give that a shot why ours is off. And I'm in a different mind space, maybe. I like it.
There you go. We'll be back to the UK after the season is over of our CBS to fill in the time. And for right now, we're diving into Ghosts. And if you're new to the channel or the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you're listening on the podcast version, we'd appreciate it if you give us a rating on iTunes and on Spotify, because all those things really help us out amazingly. You have no idea.
And we're awesome.
Yeah, we're really cool dudes. Yeah. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. There's going to be a shout out to our friends, Sucked Off Worldwide. That group has been stellar in bringing up some really funny moments, and there's a great one this week.
That is a great group.
Yeah, it's an amazing group. But today we're doing the comparisons again, our good buddies, or the UK versus the US. Mm-hmm. And this episode is the Guerrilla Warfare, Season 1, Episode 2 of Ghosts UK.
Yes.
This one started out a little bit like almost beat for beat the same as the US one.
Yeah.
So I should probably phrase it this way, because this was first. The US one was beat for beat this episode. Yeah.
Subtle differences, but it was definitely on the same path.
Yeah. So I found that to be very interesting that they kind of like didn't do too much as far as script deviation.
I get it, because they were still planning the template on what US wants to do, and get it set like 1 and 2, and then start going off a little bit from the original.
Yeah. Some of the funny things that I noticed that were almost beat for beat were the hole in the wall when he decided to try to do some of the renovations himself, DIY, which if he put a lot of money into somebody else doing the renovations, why didn't he just let them continue to do it? I don't know what happened there.
I never understood what Jay was trying to do when he was doing it, because I didn't realize he was going to put up the picture, but still the way he was doing it made no sense.
Right.
And the same thing with the UK version.
Mike,
Mike, he didn't quite know what he was doing either. I'm like, if you're hanging a picture, what are you doing all this other,
Yeah.
But it's a sitcom.
Yeah, there you go. It's got to be some type of tongue-in-cheek humor somewhere. Then, of course, the basement ghosts play a pivotal role in saving the boiler.
Yes,
exactly like the exactly parallel to the version. I'm assuming that the German and the French one do the same, but I haven't had a chance to watch either one of those.
Me either. What I noticed about the basement ghosts in the UK version is they don't have quite as much stuff on their faces from the disease.
Yeah. There's like a boil here. This is
like Nancy says, we notice when someone has something on their face.
Yeah. So that's a very interesting. Well, I mean, cholera was not really a facial thing. The plague that they had, you get more crap on your face.
But it was reverse though, because cholera ghosts in US had more spots on their faces.
Right. You're right. Yeah, they did. But like they kind of like trimmed it down. I noticed, like, as the episodes progressed, they had less spots. Yeah.
Yes.
They have on makeup. I don't know. And then so the hole in the wall, the basement ghost, and going back to the doctor and seeing the dead doctor instead of the living doctor. So that was almost an absolute parallel, which it still hit pretty funnily. Yeah, they hit well. I thought it really kind of did the narrative. So that was our first glance. And now we're going to get into I did it opposite this week. Now we're going to get into the thick of it.
Okay. One thing that I thought was kind of interesting is when after they went to the doctor and they were coming back, in our version, they drive through an old couple, and then there's the guy on the construction worker. But
Mhm.
in the UK version, when they were coming back, that lady pushing this carriage with the all black, I just found that kind of sinister, and it was pretty cool. Reminded
Yeah.
me of something out of Buffy the Vampire
Vampire Slayer,
Slayer,
yeah.
where they had people floating as they were going across that. I just kind of hit me like that. Pretty cool, sinister.
Yeah.
The look on her face.
Yeah, another thing was you got the effects of, like, Lady Button going through the wall, like, she's only halfway through.
Yes, yes.
The effects are really cool. They, like,
Cracks me
stepped it
up.
up a little bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and,
Mhm.
is it's her trying to figure, well, if it
Mhm.
was when she put it all together, it was my
Mhm.
favorite, where she's like, "So when I go to the hospital, I'm seeing different ghosts.
Right.
When I go to the house, it's the same faces. So this isn't, like, something mental, because
Right.
if it was something mental, I'd
Yeah.
see them all the time.
Yeah.
It's total I see different faces all the time." So it's like, "Ooh, that's interesting."
And they didn't have the part where Jay is watching basketball and lost, and we didn't know that, and it's like trying to give us the thing that Sam was dead or something. Where I just can't believe it, you know. So I don't think
Oh,
that was in the UK
yeah.
version. Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't do that in the UK. The
Yeah.
UK version was like, he was kinda hiding the amount of money he borrows to fix
Yes.
the house
Same
up.
concept, but a little bit
Yeah.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, you can copy my homework, but can you just make subtle changes?
Yes, that's exactly right. That's
Yeah,
exactly. The
yeah.
whole episode was kind of like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing that I really liked was some of the ghosts when they got to the modern technology and they realized, well, they're Trevor, in the
Mhm.
UK version. He could go and kinda manipulate matter,
Mhm.
and when Mike comes in the room and he sees the keyboards like tick, 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 tick,
Mhm.
tick, and it freaked him out, and he was realizing, "Oh, shoot, this place is really haunted."
Right.
That was a very fun way to get, him in
Yeah.
on the ghost without the
Right.
whole like, Sam and Jay, they had to go through these whole hoops
Mhm.
in order
Well,
to get that same. Go ahead.
in the equivalent to that in our version is Jay was walking through the TV room, whatever you call it, and he saw I think it was the F key just kind of chattering a little bit, and he looked at nope, 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 and just kept on walking.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Do you find this cast or the characters just slightly more creepy? Because I think it's a little darker tone, but I not creepy in a bad way, but just a slightly more I don't know. It's like when Kitty hides under the case, she's kind of stalkering, you know?
Oh, when she's under the sheets, and yeah, because
Yeah.
then, like, so when she wakes up and she comes back and the ghosts are trying to scare her, the mission
Mhm.
here is on the second episode is they're trying to just like,
Haunt them out.
yeah, haunt them out, just like the US version.
Yeah.
And each of them does something different. The whole gist of this guerrilla war is Allison is still recovering from her near fatal accident, finds herself
Mhm.
haunted by a ghastly gaggle who now really realize that she can see and hear them.
Yes.
So, uh, in that one, the Julian Fawcett, he's the
Mhm.
MP. Uh, he is the reason why she's out of the window and
Mhm.
has that power. But
Yeah.
like another thing that was what I agree with you, it was creepy. Going back to what you're
Mhm.
saying, very creepy, especially how Kitty was like, "Hey there, I gotta
Yes.
be your friend." It was like,
Yes.
ah,
Yeah. It's a
you know.
it's like
And her voice has
yeah.
that high pitch. The
Mhm.
actress's name is, Lali Adefoye, and I'm probably saying it wrong, so I
Yeah.
apologize. But, she plays Catherine Kitty Hyam. And, another
They're
creepy
all
thing is,
great.
yeah, they're fantastic. It's a great ensemble cast as well. But the other thing that I find to be
Weird.
hysterical is, Robin's doing the double bit. Now that I know that it's the same guy, I
Mhm.
didn't know the first watch until
Yeah.
you told me that it was the same actor doing both
Mhm.
roles,
Yeah.
where she opens the medicine cabinet and just has the head. And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Lawrence Fishburne," and I just died. I thought that was hysterical now that I know that he's playing
Yeah.
both. So, um,
Yeah. He is so good. I think the caveman's emerging as my favorite character so far because in the US version, it kind of my favorite characters kind of changed throughout the seasons depending on what they had to do during the seasons.
right, right.
The one character thing I wanted to mention is Allison
Mhm.
versus Sam.
Yes.
I feel Allison is more confident and more assertive than Samantha, because Samantha is always wanting to be someone to like her, to be in the in group that she
Yeah,
considers the groups her friends that she never had growing up. Where
right.
Allison seems to be take charge, and
I don't want
I
to be
thought that was
bothered
kind of
with you.
interesting.
Yeah, I did know that's something I did notice now that you brought it
Yeah.
up. Is Allison is more in command of all the ghosts, and her husband more so
Mhm.
than Sam is. Sam is kind of like what has that need to be liked.
Yeah, I wonder if that will continue through the series or not.
Probably she because I remember that I thought this ending of the
Mhm,
series was one of the sweetest endings
mhm,
of a television show that's going off. I mean, they can't like Luther. Each season had the last episode was like the final. So
mhm. Don't
like,
tell me, don't tell me.
oh, you
I
never
haven't
watched?
watched I haven't watched all the way through. I've only watched the first 2 episodes
Oh
now.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I'm not
but I
gonna say
kinda know what happens in the last episode a little bit by
yeah,
just social media.
right. But I think it's one of the great services that this show does
Mhm,
is in the differentiation between the two US and UK,
mhm,
having their characters be more respectable. The main Allison compared to
mhm.
Sam is more in it, and then Mike's more comic relief because he's very
Yes,
silly,
yes,
and
yes.
Kitty is like comic relief,
Mhm,
and I for a second I was like, what? It's weird that the two
mhm,
African American characters are this little comic relief. I don't know if that's a
mhm.
cultural thing or not, but
Hmm,
that kind of bugged me out of everything. But
yeah.
um, the the captain is rather funny
Yes,
because
yes.
he's kind of like taking charge and he's kind of like in
Mhm,
control, whereas Isaac is kind of this goofy, bumbling type of character.
yeah.
So it's interesting how these like characters have their own switches, so to speak.
Mhm, and some of them have traits of more than one character from the US version.
Right.
They're, a combination, or some of them are a little bit straight on,
Right.
which I find interesting. That I'm glad it's ours is an exact copy of theirs.
Yeah, it
For me
helps.
now, since it's reversed watching, I'm saying the UK is not a copy of ours, so I
No,
gotta get that in my
yeah.
head switched.
Yeah, it's you gotta reverse it. The UK is the
Yeah.
original. This is
Mhm.
ours is the copy.
Yeah.
Um, one thing that I also found to be very interesting
Mhm.
was when they started to understand the technology and the uses of it,
Yeah.
and they started to look up everything. I don't know if you have that in your notes, but when they
Mhm.
started to look up everything and they noticed, especially the MP, that he died in that house in a sex
Mhm.
scandal. So
Mhm.
it was like, all right, he was trying to get out. There were other people that
Mhm.
had far worse scandals than I did. So I don't understand why they don't, why go help me clear up my name. And she's like,
Mhm.
that's not how this works.
Yeah, the internet's in every home all over the world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I found that
Yeah.
to be really funny.
I like how when they're looking at the technology on ours, they don't really understand it, but kind of, understand
Yeah.
it. Like in the Halloween episode from the season, where they're trying to get Jay to look at the computer, the video of the guy who smashes stuff or blows it up,
Yeah.
and Pete was like, "Yeah, she's doing that. He's doing that squishy thing or whatever, pinchy thing.com."
Yeah.
Because he thought everything had to be .com because
Yeah.
he didn't quite understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of real cuteness, but
Yeah.
um back
And the
in
2 CD-ROMs. That computer must have at least 2 CD-ROMs.
yeah,
And
yeah, what Julian was
that cracked
trying.
me up
Yeah.
because as I'm a little bit older than you, I've seen the technology go from the big floppy disk, a little bit smaller than the hard ones, and then no floppy disks. So I thought that was
Yeah.
kind of funny.
Yeah, I've seen that trend progression as well. I used
Mm.
to build computers when I was
Oh,
in
very
yeah, when I was
cool.
in junior high school.
Yeah.
And I'm actually helping my cousin, one of the kids that I'm the guardian of, build
Uh-huh.
his computer, and I couldn't find my so, like, I'll still get gigs to get people's computers taken
Mhm.
apart, to pull out their hard drives and wipe them so that the government doesn't get their information. Like, I don't
Yeah.
think that's how it works, but sure, I'll do it for you. Give me $20, so
It's always there.
yeah, it's a we'll get you, we'll get you. So I was looking
Mhm.
for this and I found it because my partner cleaned up my room back here and
Uh-huh.
she found it and I was like, oh, I was looking for that. So now I can give it to him. I just told him, oh, I found the screwdriver because they have very specific screws for the
Yeah.
motherboards and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So small. So I agree. I remember seeing that. I remember it being like this huge piece, like the size of your cell phone,
Mhm.
just for like 12 megabytes of memory. And I remember it
Wow.
being, wow, 12 megabytes, that's a
Yeah.
lot, And now 12 megabytes is nothing. It's like 12 megabytes, that's
Yeah.
nothing. I won't even
Well,
get you.
our phones have more power or whatever you want to call it than um, the astronauts who went to the moon in the
Yeah,
late 60s, which
yeah,
is
that's
kind of
right.
mind-boggling.
It's so much. It's like, how the hell did you guys make that? That's
Yeah.
crazy. It's all math, thanks to the
Yeah.
hidden
When
figures.
I was in the Navy, I worked in an office, and every time I was in a squadron on land, every time our ship went out, we had to pack up everything we had. And in the office, we had this huge word processor. You had a computer screen, but the word processor where you put the big massive disk in was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so weird how technology has made everything smaller.
Yeah. Yeah. And it continues to get smaller because
Hmm.
like gigabytes and hard drives are like, I get
Hmm.
a memory chip, my SD cards, they're coming in
Yeah.
like terabytes now, and it's like that big. And I remember a terabyte was like
Oh.
so massive. So anyway, back
Yeah,
to
back to
Ghost.
Ghost.
I hope you guys enjoyed your free computer lesson, the computer history lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the MP was going to try to get his
Mhm.
information off, and it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
when she comes back and she goes, all right, what do you guys want? Like I
Mhm.
got to make a deal with you because I'm here. Like, we
Mhm.
can't leave. We're stuck. So what do you guys want? Because she spent a lot of time wanting to get the frig out of that house, and she fucking couldn't take it anymore. So
Yeah.
Mike says, no, we're locked in, man. We can't go
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah.
She's like, oh shit. So she's like, all right, what do you want? And then Mike breaks a hole in the rooms that separate Kitty and
Yeah.
Lady Button, similar to how Flower and Hetty's rooms were split.
Mhm.
And she's like, and they found a painting of her husband, their robber baron,
Yeah.
who I'm not going to ruin it, but very different from the American one.
Have they named him yet? I don't think I recall a
No, he,
name.
he just knows he's, Father Button or whatever, the Lord of the House.
Mhm.
But the ghosts basically that's like make a deal. It's like, all right, what do you want? And then everybody basically says what they want, and she goes, no, no, no. And then she gets to Pat, and Pat's just like, I just wanted to say hi. And she goes, hi. Like, she really
Yeah.
takes charge and kind of like,
Yeah. Sam had a more softer, "Oh,
yeah,
wow. Hi."
yeah, yeah. Sam was much so, but she was like, I'm not having this. So
Yeah.
that was a really fun adventure.
And I
Of
love
course,
the caveman, when she asked him, and he says, "Nothing," and she goes off on him, "You scaring me day and night doing this, blah, blah, blah." "Well, something to do."
yeah.
Just the way he phrased that was awesome.
Yeah, he's very good at this role.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
hysterical,
Mhm.
and you can tell he's having a lot of fun doing it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really funny because the Lord character with the severed head.
Mhm.
Um, there's actually a great episode on that coming up. I think in the second season, but
I
that
need to
character
start
seems
binging it.
very tall,
Mhm.
and Robin seems very short. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering how tall.
Apple boxes.
Huh?
Apple boxes. When they
Oh,
film scenes when one actor is shorter than the other, but they want them to look like they're the same height when they're having the scene, they
mm,
have actors stand on, they call them apple boxes, but it could be whatever, and to get that scene, because I've noticed in some films and movies where when they're face to face, they're kind of on the same level, but when you see a long shot, they're not. I mean,
wow,
yeah.
that's crazy. And he also was a writer on Ghosts.
Oh, he was?
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
know
know
that.
that. Me either.
Yeah, he's
Hmm.
something else.
Wow.
He's written 32 different stories,
Hmm.
not just Ghosts, but other shows.
Oh, sure.
Uh he wrote on the Tracy Ullman show,
Mhm.
Tracy Ullman show
Mhm.
in, I guess it's a revamp in 2016 to 2018.
Oh, okay.
And Tracy Breaks the News. He also did Horrible Histories, which is hysterical. If you haven't seen that, go watch it. It's a
I
great
haven't.
series.
Yeah.
Great series. He did Bill. He did Horrible Histories with Stephen Fry, which was even better
He's funny.
because Stephen Fry's hysterical. And he did
Mhm.
Comedy Lab. But he
Yeah.
also did
Yeah. Yeah.
Chicken Run.
You did what?
Chicken Run. He was an
Oh,
actor.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this guy is mainly a writer in actuality.
Yeah.
But I was trying to see how tall he was, but it wasn't coming up. So oh well.
Yeah.
But yeah, great chemistry with him. He's hysterical.
I was thinking about Thomas, how he seems so romantic and
Oh yeah.
with Allison. But I was
Mm.
thinking, he's not all that romantic. He's just horny,
Yeah.
disguising it with being romantic.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because I think he's exactly Sopsy's. I don't think he's ever been with anybody.
Oh, you don't think so?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall, so maybe it'll come up and we'll find
I
out.
could
But
see that being so romantic and want to save himself, but
yeah,
he's
that's what I
gotten horny or over the time
yeah.
he's been a ghost. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And then
Yeah,
his role was pretty creepy too when he shows up
yeah,
in the tub.
yeah.
Yeah. But he was in Willy Wonka, the new Timothy Chalamet version.
Oh, what role did he play?
He played Fickle Grubber.
I don't.
Yeah,
What?
he's one of the people that was trying to get a chocolatier that was trying to get
Oh, okay.
get rid of
Might
Willy.
go back and look at that because
Yeah.
I enjoyed that movie.
Yeah. But it's a lot of these characters will pop up in a lot of the shows that you may like, so I definitely would.
One thing I noticed in the bathroom with Allison,
Mhm.
which would never be shown on network, her sitting on the toilet with her pants down and then grabbing
Yes.
the toilet paper. That would never fly on
On the
network
US
TV in
version.
the
Yeah.
US.
Still
Yeah,
to this day,
yeah,
like
yeah. On
it took
Paramount Plus, maybe for streaming, but not on network TV because ours is a
no.
little different.
Yeah, but I did notice that they did the same thing with the pigeons in the shower.
Yeah,
When they
yeah.
opened the pigeons were there, it's like, "Oh, okay, it's not the ghost," and then the ghost showed up, so
Yeah, I noticed that their house is a little more gross than
yeah,
US
the
version, especially
US
the
version.
bathroom. I was like, "Oh, you
Yeah.
taking a shower in that?
Yeah.
No, no,
Oh,
no, no."
yeah, definitely grosser.
Yeah,
Definitely on many levels.
yeah.
All right, well, let's wrap it up, and we got a comment that we got from our
Oh,
friends
great, great.
in the, Sucked Off Worldwide group. Boop. Yeah, so this one wraps up with her pretty much taking charge, saving the day with the basement ghosts, and her laying down the law. So she's willing to help
Yes.
them. It becomes like a good team, and it worked
Oh,
out pretty well. So
one thing I wanted to mention before
yeah.
we do the comment is I love this where Kitty was calling the hole between her and Lady Button
Mhm.
um, the the smile hole. I don't.
Oh
That
yeah,
just struck me as funny and a little dirty, but I won't get
yeah,
into that. But
yeah. That was a little of both.
yeah,
Yeah,
I liked it. It was kind
yeah.
of funny.
It
And
was
her
great.
doing the steps as she went down, that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
the show wraps up with them all playing happily, and
Mhm.
hopefully having better prospects, and the house maybe getting fixed with the help of the different ghosts
Mhm.
in the house.
Yeah.
So, but we're going to talk about our worldwide ghost comment this week.
Yes.
Somebody posted a photo of David Chandler,
Devin. Yeah.
and he's in good shape.
Just a little.
This is little. He works out or something. So you got small beard or full beard Thorfinn,
Mhm. Yeah.
and of course Frederick. Which one do you like?
Um, I think with the shorter beard, I think he looks
Oh,
better.
oh wow, interesting.
Yeah.
But Frederick Klein left a comment. That's it. I'm eating more cod.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, thank you, Frederick Klein, and of course Annie Landon. Excuse me. Thank you so much for that comment tag, so that we got this great moment.
I mean, if you like Devin Chandler, if you're a fan of him, follow him on Instagram. I follow him there, and he posts a lot of stuff on there with the ghost and about his family life, which is kind of fun to get a look into it because he has 2 kids, a newborn. One, it's a little bit older now, but he lets you into a little bit of his life there.
Oh, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, I definitely follow. I follow almost all of the cast. I think
Same.
I can't find Sopsies, and
He's on Instagram.
he's on Instagram,
Yeah,
and
I'll
I
send you the link.
follow. I think there's another one that I know. I follow Richie. I follow
Mhm.
Thorfinn.
Yeah, I don't think Isaac is on there.
No,
I don't
I
think he
wouldn't be
does a lot of
surprised.
social media.
Yeah, but yeah, I follow a couple of them. So
Asher does a lot
oh,
of stuff on there.
I follow Hetty.
Yes.
She's on there. She does a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of fun there. And make sure you follow us
Yes.
on your favorite socials. We're on Instagram and X and Threads.
Yes.
by default.
TikTok and TikTok. Yeah.
You're on TikTok. Oh yeah, we're both on TikTok.
Yeah, that's how we met.
Yeah, exactly, duh.
Through Star Trek, because Star Trek brings people together.
It does. It really does. I had a lot of fun. Bill, let's give him the sign off. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. Bill.
Yes. And everyone, make sure you have a hauntingly good week.
There you go. All right. Until next time, Ghosties, we'll see you. We're back in the US next week. So we'll be recapping the new stuff.
Yeah.